Knives Out is directed and written by Rian Johnson and stars quite a big cast. You got Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, uh,
Chris
Don
Evans.
Johnson, Chris Evans, Anna de Armas, and among others. And this is a whodunit mystery, murder mystery film that deals with pretty much the loss of this wealthy man who was part of the family patriarch, and he ends up basically getting. Well, basically, it's first suspected that suicide killed him, but it becomes pretty much a murder mystery as the family gathers to his house, and the private detective involved, played by Daniel Craig, has to investigate the actual mystery surrounding his death. And we're gonna kind of leave it there because that's pretty much the general premise of the movie. Um,
Yeah.
and it really deals with pretty much the questionings involved with the family members and the twists and turns that come up that are involved with possible stuff beyond the suicide that is initially given. And so now here's a little backstory. Now I'm actually a big fan of director Rian Johnson, and I've only seen a couple of his movies and also his episodes he directed of Breaking Bad. And I actually find the guy to be a talented filmmaker. And I haven't seen some of his earlier stuff like Brick, but I have seen Looper and Star Wars Last Jedi. And given for all the split decision on that movie, on Last Jedi, I'm just going to say I'm one of those few that actually really loves that movie. But
Yeah,
I find the
I
guy to
enjoyed
be
it
a,
too, despite a lot of its hate. Even though I get where it gets some of it hates from, but I also I love Looper, and I've seen a lot of like kind of stuff he's done, but I also heard and kind of get that he's kind of like a uh, what do you call that one really weird director, Guy, whatever,
Guy
Guy
Ritchie.
Ritchie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like when you hear Rian Johnson's name, he's kind of could be on that level. So, and when we first saw the trailers to this film, it kind of felt like a Guy Ritchie-ish type film because while it is a Clue type of movie, it does seem like there's going to be some really funny parts in this
Yeah.
film.
And
Kind of like Ready or Not that we got earlier this year, which kind of resembled this movie.
yeah, and that's the other thing too. I love whodunit mystery type movies, and it's
Yes,
good
I
that
do
every
too.
now and then we'll get to have that genre come back, like we did back in the '80s when we had Clue, which to me holds up as my favorite whodunit mystery movie, and also the
Yeah.
best board game movie. And I liked Murder on the Orient Express a couple years ago, but it could have been a lot better. But I still like this genre. I like this whole like guessing who the killer is and things like that type of genre.
The Murder on Oriental Express, I think, failed because it was the seventh remake, I believe, fifth or seventh
Yeah,
remake. That's why you don't like that. It was when you hear already know that's being remade every fucking decade. You already know who the killer is. So
true.
that was a ruined movie, but that was already ruined from the get go. But yeah, I was really looking forward to this movie. It looked like it was going to be fun. The cast looked interesting. I like when they do these really upbeat, entertaining type of movies, and I will say that upon after seeing this film, I got what I expected. I was very entertained. I thought it was good. Um, I had, I love the performances and I had a blast. Now I do have some flaws with it as well.
Yeah, I had quite a great time watching this movie, and it's definitely probably my one of the best whodunit type mystery films in years that brought it in a great resurgence, so to speak. And I think that Rian Johnson did a great way of doing a whole modern take on it, and
Yeah.
it was definitely worth my expectations. And to get my pros out of the way, as we were going back to the cast, everyone in this was phenomenal. But the biggest stands
Yeah.
out for me the most is Daniel Craig, and also Chris Evans. Like Daniel Craig, he like not only cracked me up with a lot of his funny remarks that he's doing, but that Southern accent he uses is just so catchy. And I feel like if that's pretty much the best type of American accent he can do because he does it fucking great in this movie.
Yeah. Daniel Craig was my highlight number one. He was fucking hilarious at parts. His investigating was just it was catching. Like I just wanted to follow every step. I wanted to see more of him. I still think I thought the way he came out in this movie, he looked like he was having fun, and that's very important. He looked like he loved what he was doing in this movie, and I actually really like that girl too. She did very very well, and she's actually as big a cast this is, where you got Chris Evans. Hell, you even got the kid from the It movies, and it got you got even Jamie Lee Curtis in this. They actually surprised me by focusing on a lesser actress,
Yeah,
and it's this one girl played in Blade Runner 2049. I forgot her name.
Anna de Armas.
Yeah, she was awesome in this. I will say that Chris Evans was probably my other favorite because he was a smart aleck shithead that, this movie is about really a dysfunctional family just after the will. That's all they care about. And they're there at this house while being investigated for the murder. They're there because they want a piece of the father, grandfather, so on and so forth estate. And he's also a famous writer, is what it was, mystery. So I thought it was clever that a guy who writes mysteries dies in a mysterious way that almost resembles like it's writing a book of itself. I thought that was pretty clever. But everybody did phenomenal in this film. However, I did feel like some people weren't needed, and I was a little disappointed at some big names who were pushed to the side. And you kind of question, why the fuck were you in the movie? And it's kind of like a pro con. Like, they were good when they were in there. It's just, you get people like Jamie Lee Curtis, the dude that played Zod, and
Michael Shannon.
Man Hill, and then you got the kid from, really the worst of them is the kid from It, that played the Bill, who really did nothing but do this the whole movie. And basically you get some characters that really could have just, like, I guess just for the sake of having as much A-listers that you wanted, cool, I guess that's why they did it. But got into the story of the murder mystery of Whodunit and stuff. I do have a flaw with that, which plays later. But I did like how some funny shit that was going on throughout the film. I love the bickering with the family, how they're bitching at each other. Like, he's like, "You eat shit. You eat shit. Yeah, you eat shit." Chris Evans eating.
Yeah.
I liked how greedy they were. They were just fucking scumbags. It makes you want to fucking hate them, especially when, not spoiler to tell you, when somebody gets everything that isn't really family, it just makes you laugh. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. I love the whole bickering with the family going back and forth. It had a lot of funny parts with it, and that's the other craze. Like, yeah,
love the house.
Yeah, I love the whole classic like mansion look that they go with in this movie. That's common with traditional murder mystery films. And what I love about the screenplay and the direction in this is that it takes a kind of like modern spin on it to where they're basic like the whole movie is in on the whole like kind of a self-awareness about murder mysteries, because even the characters in the film, they even reference about how certain things go into about like you were saying with the murder mystery novels that he's writing, the main Christopher Plummer's character was writing about and stuff, and just the novelty of Daniel Craig's character, who's basically going by the plot by plot basis, and he's basically in on how batshit crazy he is. And there's actually something I thought was clever toward the end where not gonna spoil anything, but it's basically you realize how fucking smart he is when you find out toward the end.
Yeah,
and
they I'll get into my cons here in a second on like the big reveal. One thing I did like was they were trying to go. It's like a pro con. I don't know how to really specify this. There's a pro con I have where the film tries to outsmart you on thinking by giving everybody a backstory where Daniel Craig is kind of pretty much solving things, and while he's narrating what he thinks went on, he's basically questioning him, and then that person's telling him what went on, and he's you see it play out. And the movie, while I enjoyed them doing that, I think one of the little con part, I'll hurry up and get out of the way since I'm on the subject, was the fact that it would have probably been better if they would have made more of the family seem guilty, so I wouldn't have not realized who the chosen killer was. Because a lot of people really make a lot of they don't come off as very suspect. And that was one of the things I do got to mention as a con. But other than that, I love the score. And I love the relationship with the girl and the old guy who gets killed. I did like their relationship and how heartwarming it was and how much he truly cared for her. I will
Yeah.
say it at that. I'll leave it at that. But getting my cons, I will say that what I just mentioned was one. Another thing was kind of know who the killer is pretty quick.
At first, at glance, when I was watching it, I thought in my mind of kind of like where it might have been going. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I do appreciate what the movie tries to do is it does kind of play in with the whole, well, I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but there's a red herring, let's just say, that's involved. And I'm glad they at least tried to put that in to try to make you give like a false alert on who you think is going to be the killer. I did at least appreciate they at least had a scene like that in. But yeah, as the movie goes along and the way I started to piece things together, I was like, yeah, I think there's probably going to be something that I'm probably going to
Well,
predict.
if you're not paying attention in the first 15 minutes and you're either not paying attention or you, no offense, stupid, it's kind of I mean, you can't miss it. There's only one person out of when they were talking to each person that makes a legit threat to our main dead person. And that ends up being the killer. That's my problem I had with the film. Because I kind of predicted the trailers because of how big this person's name is. And then I started thinking as the movie was in it, the way they were doing the backstories when they're investigating. And that's the problem, like I complained earlier, where they could have made everybody seem very threatful, so I could have been confused.
Yeah, see, at first, when there are moments that I thought the movie did kind of play into that, but just it was kind of downplayed. Not to because they that's what we're saying. That's my other problem is that they don't spend a whole lot of time with certain other individuals so that we can kind of get more of that mystery type angle. But I at least appreciate they try to do somewhat with like give us like certain red herrings and some of the clues that lead into our later twist. Because even though I kind of knew who the person was, I still thought that the way it kind of played it out, I was like, okay,
I will
that
say
makes
that
sense.
when you find out who the person was, when that person attempts to do what he does or her does, I'm not going to say which one it is, and then that part where they're going to do something and it doesn't work, and that person goes, "Oh shit." That was fucking hilarious. I
That
did
was
laugh.
yes.
The movie does come off as very slapsticky. There's a movie that came out called Ready Player One, which did market itself as a slapstick for fun. Don't take me serious. However, this film does seem like it's going to go on the serious note with some touch of funniness. And there was so much slapsticky in this, like the part where Craig is jamming, going woo, and then a fucking ambulance and cops and all that shit rolling back. He's sitting there dancing. I do feel like while it is fun, since the film didn't market itself like it just kind of confused you a little bit on the tone at some points. Because you got to think our main actress that's in the film, she legitly acted so good in this on dramatic scenes that she could have played very well in a very serious film, and it kind of threw you off a little bit.
Well, and not to backtrack, but it was Ready or Not that I think you're referring to. It's similar to that,
Ready or Not. I said it's kind of like Ready or Not.
right? But you said
Because Ready or Not is like a very market itself as a slapstick. This film didn't really market itself too much. While it did seem like it was going to have some comedy, it seemed like it was going to take kind of a serious note. And this one has a lot of slapsticky. Like it almost comes off as like self-awareness at times.
And in a good way too. And I enjoyed that vibe with it. And
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It's just sometimes when you have the dramatic scene with the girl, because she's taking it seriously, you can kind of tell, and nobody else in the family really in the acting is really taking this movie seriously. They're like, this movie's gonna be fun. So it's like kind of throws you off tonally on certain parts, especially the part where she happens to be in a funny scene and she's the only one like fucking serious about everything, which I don't know. It's not really a bad thing, but like I said, my only issue I had was the pretty easy to solve puzzle. What didn't do very well on the solving the issue. So other than that, I enjoyed this movie. I was heavily entertained. If I'm entertained, I'm happy. And it's definitely not going to be my top 10 list, that's for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this film a compelling grade in the Film Freaks meter.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go on a little bit more just because I had like, even though there was some predictable moments in the film, I still had some. I still was like had some genuine like surprise moments that I kind of liked a little more. So with that, and also I loved what the whole like spin that they take with it, with its premise on the genre. I really got more of that vibe, and so with that, I'm gonna go with a high compelling grade on the Film Freaks meter. So for those of you who have also seen Knives Out, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel and check out some other reviews here and our website at filmfreaks.com. And we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.